everybody. Welcome back to Adobe Illustrator for Cartographers. I'm Dr. Heath Robinson, and we're continuing to talk about producing arrows for flow mapping or other type of situation where you're interested in using arrows to denote some kind of movement or motion inside of your maps. And we've looked at just freehanding these, then we looked at the controlled way that we can create curves using the Bezier curve system and the pen tool. This time we want to look at creating arrows using a pattern brush. We've already begun to use a pattern brush when we were talking about line symbology. Well, let's use them to create some arrows as well. We didn't go entirely through the process of creating a pattern brush with all different tiles, so I want to do that now. Let's create a simple pattern brush that will be useful whenever we're trying to draw arrows. That way we can draw in our shape using whatever system we want, using either the Bezier curve system or freehanding it if it's appropriate, and then applying a particular brush. So this time I want to be able to set up all of the different tiles for the pattern brush. So I'm going to create all of them inside squares that are perfectly 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. Okay, so there's one, and then here is going to be another tile. We're going to need the straight tile, we're going to need interior corners, we're going to need exterior corners, and we're going to need end caps. So I'm going to create a box for each one of those. The side, interior corner, exterior corner, end cap, and start cap. I'm just going to, this will be our straight center. It's very important that I line up and make sure that all of these are aligned. We need to make sure that all of these are perfectly aligned. That way they all fit together when the pattern is applied. I'm going to draw a line, make sure that it's very straight by holding down the Shift key, from the start to from one side of this box to the other. Let's make it a red line with a black center. So I'm going to make this bright red, 255 on red, 0 on green, 0 on blue, and I'm going to bump up the thickness to 7 points. I'm going to use the paste in front, turn this color to jet black, and bump this down to 3. That way I've got a 2-point edge on the side. Okay, so that's what I want my arrow to look like. That will be the straight side. That'll be a flat side. Let's create an interior corner and an exterior corner. I'm going to do that here by going over here to the center. I'm going to use the line tool to do that. Make sure that I'm in the center. You see that? There we go. That's one. And then I'm going to continue straight over with this pen tool. Connect right there. And go right there. Whoop. Now I have an interior corner. That needs to be bright red. 7 points. Paste in front. Jet black. 3 points. Okay, see, that's that corner right there. Don't worry about the outside box here. I'm going to turn that off in a moment. I'm just using that to help me align everything. So let me do this outside corner from here to the center and up. Keep using the guidelines to help keep everything aligned. 7 point. Pure red. Control C, Control F. Now I need a start cap and an end cap, which of course we want to make a line. I'd like to make some kind of circle here on this. So I'm going to make a line that just comes from the center of that box straight out and make it the same sorts of things that I've been doing. Control C, Control F, bump that up to 7. And send that to back. I want to make a little circle, a little knob that goes on the end of that. So I'm going to use the circle tool, the ellipse tool. Hold down Shift so I know I'm drawing a perfect circle. And then I want to align that. I may have gotten close right there in the center. And let's make it a black interior with a perfect red exterior. There, maybe that's the end to this particular arrow. Let's look at the start. I'm going to, let me just copy these to move this along and set them in there. And then I want to have an arrowhead at the end of this. I've been using just the custom arrowheads, but what if I want to create my own? Well, I'm going to use the polygon tool, and I'm going to say that I want 3 sides. Okay. Rotate just there. Scale down. And make it black inside. There, now I have my tiles constructed. I don't really like the way that goes outside, so I'm going to bump it back a little bit so that it's inside that line. There, now I know that's how I want this particular line to look. That seems like a lot of work, but then I'll be able to very easily create a pattern brush with it and use it whenever I want. I'm going to turn off now. It didn't matter what color. They're still going to be there, those little boxes, but they are going to be completely clear. What I have to do is store these as swatches, so I'm going to select them all and then put them over here in the swatches. These are all the components of this particular arrow. And then my brushes are here, so I'm going to go ahead and say new, and I want a new pattern brush. Arrow 1. Now you can see right here that goes ahead and puts that symbol into the side tile. What if I don't want to accept these defaults? I used these defaults last time, but you can see that if I drop down, now those symbols that I've put over here into my swatches are there. This is the outside corner. Well, I created an outside corner right there. This is the inside corner. I created one of those right there. This is the start tile. We want to start with the circle, and we want to end with the arrow. Now I have a pattern brush that I can use to create arrows with. So I'm going to say OK. Now there it is. You can see them all loaded in right here. If I draw a very controlled line right there, and then I apply the brush to it. Oh, whoops, it looks like I have something a little bit wrong. You can see that the path here, oh, yep, I've got this one turned around. Oh, I should have paid more attention to what it's showing me. Let's see, this curve right there is that one. Oh, I need to place that curve. I have that curve in here. Right there. Now, okay. Yes, apply. There, that fixed it. Now I have all of the tiles in the right place. And I can draw out any type of thing that I want. I think I would like to have the black go from the interior here to the interior of the arrow. So I'm going to make that adjustment here. I'm going to bring that, arrange, bring to front. There, that looks better. That sort of looks like the effect that I'm going for. If I just grab those and say bring to front, aha, and I want to move that like that. There, that looks like the effect that I'm going for. And I can adjust my brush. I want to trash that, yes, and trash that, yes, and add my new swatches. Then I want to edit my brush. New pattern swatch, new end. Right there. Okay. And I'll go ahead. This is just asking me if I would like to apply my changes to the existing things that are already on the screen that use that brush. I want to say apply to strokes, yes. And you can see, oh, I got it. Oh, I'm still not real happy with the way that is, but I won't worry about that right now. I'll let you fix it on yours if you want to. But now you can see that I've created this pattern brush so that even if I want to create a real organic look, I can do that. And it will go ahead and take care of putting in the shape exactly as I want it. And so that's a great way of combining the technique that we learned for doing line symbology using these pattern brushes with creating a pattern brush that's going to be for your flow mapping and for your lines. Get that curve right and then apply the brush. Alright, those are the techniques that I wanted to go over for creating arrows with you. But for now, practice around with these, create some neat brushes, find your favorite way for developing arrows, and especially make sure you go back and practice with that Bezier curve tool and the pen tool. Alright, I believe that concludes my little tutorials on creating arrows for flow maps. There's still a lot more to cover, so I'll see you in the next lesson.